Hi, I tried the Suzuki Quadrunner today, and it started. I put an air filter in there, and I got it to work. But as the guy who owned it said, it gets weaker and weaker, and it doesn't idle, and it gets really hard to start after a while. So I'm gonna see if I can find the reason for that. It's there's still some compression. It doesn't feel like it loses compression when it gets this really hard to start. So it might be a carburetor problem. But I read on the internet, you can find anything there, that intake valves on these ones actually wear out, and then you don't have any play between your valve and, I don't know, the arm that presses on it. So that might be an issue, but I don't know. I'm gonna check that play, see if that's it. But it was quite noisy from the engine, so maybe the cam chain needs something done with it. So I stripped it down now, and I think it's not really in bad condition. Everything seems quite tight. This winch is a real hack job. You see, they just cut off this front bar and put some extension, which is really too small, just to fit this, I think. But I'm gonna get it to run good first, and then we'll see what we do about that. I will not have it like that. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the valve clearance, and I think you can see here is a small this one here. You remove this one, and you put the piston in top dead center, and that is when the piston is in the compression phase. So both intake and exhaust valves are closed, and then the engine should be cooled, and yeah, it's cold now when you do it. So there's a small leak there, but I don't think it's too bad. So I have removed this adjustment cap, and I'd say it's way too much here. And then I had a hard time removing this on the exhaust side. I think it's a bit better, but I got some oil coming out, but it's really diluted with fuel. So maybe I think this oil that's in here is more fuel than oil, and that could explain the not so very pleasant rattling sound from the engine. So I'm gonna, there's no oil stick, so you don't know. There's this window, but I don't know, is this full or not, anything in it. I'm gonna take everything out and see how it looks like. Oh my god, look at that. And this Suzuki had actually been to a authorized dealer to try and find the fault with the engine running strangely when it got hot. I don't know. You put oil in it instead of just... Oh, you get real funny out of this stuff. It's more gasoline than oil in there, and it's a lot of it also. I'm gonna have to do maybe a double oil change or something like that, because it's filling up this. I think this is actually a 5-liter bucket, so holy crap. Well, yeah, we have something to start a bonfire with. See how, you see? It's not even oil. Oh my god. Strange it didn't seize or anything. So I'm gonna order some stuff for it. I've heard that the float in these carburetors, sometimes they stuck open, and then you fill the crankcase with gasoline. My neighbor actually had that problem once with one of these. So I'll be ordering some parts for this one. The oil filter located down here. You just remove that cover. Now you can see there's no whatever that was, not oil but some kind of stuff. And you see it was far too much. It's supposed to be 3.5 liter, and I know that that one contains 5 liter and it was empty, so it was way too much in the engine. And I think that the carburetor's float needle has stuck open, so that will fill the engine with gasoline unless you turn off the fuel knob. So the guy I bought it from, he said that they had renovated this carburetor at the dealer, but since they didn't even discover it was like way too much oil in there, and I don't think they have, this one cannot be right. I mean, that's like 1.5, 2 millimeters. So I don't know what they were doing. It was during the summer, so maybe it was a intern of some sort. And maybe with oil in here, the leakage that I see here will fix itself. And there is some work. You see the boot there needs to be changed, and that one too looks like crap. Other side actually look good. I'm gonna change oil in that transmission also. When I rode it today, actually it was I think it was okay. Every gear worked, didn't have any idle, but maybe that's not so strange. Four-wheel drive worked fine. Differential lock worked, the lights worked, the horn and fan, cooling fan, which I removed now, worked. So I think this will be a good ATV with a little bit of love, elbow grease. So thanks for now.